Hey, Medea, David Taub here with GV Wire. I understand that when you were speaking Monday night here in Fresno that your car was broken into. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened?
Well, I was speaking about Saudi Arabia, how repressive the government is, and the problematic U.S. relationship with that country. And in the middle of my talk, somebody came onto the stage and said, everybody who has a car should run out into the parking lot. They're smashing our windows. And so we ran out. And indeed, there were 4 that I had seen, but I think there were 5 windows that were smashed. And somebody had broken into my car and taken all of my things, my suitcase, my book, my notes, my sign-up sheet, everything that I had been accumulating during my speaking tour, and the police came and they tried to get some fingerprints off the car and said there were no fingerprints, that they must have been wearing gloves. And you probably heard that the police looked at the video camera and I think saw a car that they thought it was a white SUV, but I don't think it had license plates on it. So that's all that I know so far.
All right. Now, on Facebook, you kind of implied that you were wondering whether you were targeted, whether it was a hate crime. Why do you say that? Why did you write about that?
Well, I wonder why somebody, first of all, they go inside a gated area in a parking lot. It's a pretty risky thing to do rather than just smashing some windows of cars on the street. There was an event going on across the street in a church. Nothing happened at that event. And the mosque has been targeted before, and so have other mosques where I've spoken. I put it as a question mark because I don't know. It could have been random acts of vandalism. It could have been people who wanted to target folks who were at the mosque and make them scared of being there, and many people did leave the mosque immediately after that happened instead of coming back in for the end of the talk. And then there's a third, might sound very remote, but who knows, which is that it might be somebody from the Saudi community. I know there are Saudis who are there in the Fresno area who are pro-government, might have known that I was speaking there. There were some young men in the parking lot when I came in, and I'd come in very late to the event, and I thought it was security for the mosque, and the mosque said no, they had no security there. So there were some guys in the parking lot who saw me park and get out of my car and go in. So I'm only just saying I don't know. Those are 3 possibilities.
All right, because I spoke with police today, and they tell me that they feel it's just a complete coincidence that this is a crime of opportunity, that another business owner in the area reported seeing that same Land Rover breaking cars in their parking lot. So do you feel that maybe it just was random?
Certainly it's a possibility. It could be. There's a heightened sense of sensitivity towards Islamophobia now, especially with Donald Trump being elected. And I think it's justifiable that people would be concerned when something happens in the parking lot of a mosque when there's an event going on. But I would hope that the police could learn more about this and could give us a more definitive answer.
Right, and finally, you reported that everything was stolen, suitcase, notes. I mean, that must obviously be a big hassle. I mean, how do you carry on? I mean, when you get broken into like that, when all your belongings are taken, that must be very frustrating to say the least.
Well, it is, and I had the cash from the sales of books from my California tour was in there. The books themselves are valuable. I didn't have any for the next events. The notes that I had accumulated during the course of the trip and all the follow-up contacts I wanted to have, all the sign-up sheets of people who wanted to be involved with us afterwards, to say nothing of personal possessions. But you know what? It's just things, and in the end, it's not all that important. I think of the Syrian refugees who have to flee their house and maybe can grab 1 or 2 things, and that's it for all their belongings and never see their homes again. So getting your stuff taken is quite minor compared to what people go through in the war zones that we're trying to stop.